Good evening and welcome to our Christmas Eve edition of Nosetools, in which I, as usual, try to remember what's going on, but at least I can tidy up some of this rubbish.
Are you literally meaning rubbish?
Yes. I don't think anyone has a use for a large rat nose, except possibly the large rat, but I don't think it's using it anymore. Yes. Dear, another naked mole dog has come to life apparently. Oh right, no, that's just people trying to pick things up from places where they shouldn't really be trying to pick things up. So yes, that's some of the rubbish dealt with. I did have an idea, which was that I could make, because that would be a bit painful. You can change the orientation of a ballista very quickly. So I wonder if it's worth digging out another one of those rhinoceros traps in a different direction. But that does mean I have now two directions in which I need to make it difficult to accidentally stand in the line of fire. So maybe I won't try that right now. That noise is some tea being brewed. So someone will go and fetch it for me. So I presume that one of these is waiting to be butchered, so that's fine. So one thing I do remember we were in the middle of was attempting to enlarge the dining room, and we're mostly waiting for... Why don't you have a home? Waiting for someone to smooth that extra room so that we can move. Yeah, we are actually out of spare bedrooms again. We're waiting for someone to smooth this room down here so that it can be turned into another into a replacement guild hall for the room just to the north of it. So it looks like we're out of bedrooms again. Oh dear, something's come back to life in the butcher's shop. I should probably surround the butcher's shop with yet more cage traps, shouldn't I? Anyone who's got a weapon, come and take on this large rat corpse. Probably unnecessary, since one of you's a hammer dwarf. It really didn't take long. Hammerlord bashes in with in the lower body with her iron warhammer. Yes, that was pretty quick. But now if you could just get on with butchering that again. I suppose it's probably quite good if your butchers are also pretty good with a hammer. Since then, you can deal with all of the slight tendency that that creatures have to coming back to life. We're a bit short on empty cages again now, aren't we? Because I've built too many cage traps. So our current situation is that there are no wild undead kicking around outside, isn't it? Yes. So we can perfectly well use wood for things. Make a few cages then. And I had just scheduled a phenomenal quantity of stuff for dumping and or tidying up. So in a possibly vain attempt at reducing the number of objects in the world, because the game is continuing to get slower. I mean, excessive lag is an accepted reason why fortresses get abandoned. Let's stop all of that lot. Yes, the surface is slowly clearing out, but there's still an awful lot of dead bodies to be disposed of. Presumably means that everyone is currently getting kind of pissed off at seeing all of these dead bodies, aren't they? Yeah, maybe not. Mostly they appear to be getting into fights. That's a kitten. Can't ask about the kitten's emotions. Still, maybe disposing of those objects will make the game faster.
It's kind of fortress size where your previous computer would have struggled and doubled.
Yes.
Very
By quite some way. Like, the rather curious thing is I've configured the dwarf fortress to have a population cap, a soft population cap of 100, which means that no one is getting born and no one is arriving as an immigrant, but they keep arriving as guests and then applying for permanent residency and citizenship. And okay, maybe I shouldn't keep granting it, but so it's difficult to extend the residential layers another layer down because there's the caverns in the way, even more than the current residential layers.
Can you extend it sideways?
I think this layer is actually safe, so I could do another. So I could make another reasonable approximation to a residential layer there, which is also in limestone, which is nice. Otherwise, I kind of have to go, yeah, let's do I mean, I can expand them horizontally, but that means people have to spend longer and longer walking to and from their bedrooms,
Right.
which I kind of want to avoid. So let us...
So you want to keep commute times down?
Yes. So there may be the slight problem that this layer is naturally damp, and so I may end up getting all my digging jobs being cancelled, so that might be a reason to avoid this. But let's see, it may get better if we get further away from the from where we've done things on the layer above. Let's have a look. You managed to shoot a tooth off a rat. Well done.
I mean, great marks warship, but also what?
Okay. One of my miners is praying, one is dumping something, and one is cleaning. I think dealing with the blood from that giant rat we just disposed of. The library is still unfeasibly popular. Oh yes, have we got any more furniture we can stick in the western half of the library? Not at the moment. Let's make some. Actually, I think we are making some because I'm making extra furniture for the dining rooms. Yes.
I've got a Christmas song here, which is annoying me. It quite me why I have a Christmas song here. Having a wonderful Christmas.
That's not one I've played recently, so there. I did do a long run of terrible K-pop Christmas songs for while I was doing the washing up. But yes. I'm sure you're helping.
Do you want the B-side instead?
Probably.
Okay, I'll tell you the B-side. Which is Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reggae. It's not very reggae though.
Who are you and why are you unhappy?
And so on that question.
So... I mean, you're an elite Marks dwarf, but you're also, I think, mostly what you need is to be at least temporarily removed from the rams of clasping, so as to give yourself a chance to do some other work. Let us take you out of the military for now. In the hope that you can go and have some fun and not spend all your time picking up equipment. Maybe that's why you're so stressed. You're spending all your time picking up equipment. I will keep half an eye on you. It does rather look like every square on this floor is going to turn out to be damp. May rather limit our ability to speedily convert it into bedrooms, because each time we dig something out, we'll go clang, sorry, stop digging, damp stone located. Don't think there's a an option for yeah, I don't think that's going to be practical. Oh, right, you're right down on the bottom layer again. Right, yes, I am pleased to see a forgotten beast called Nosetools has turned up, and is going to terrorise a bit of the caverns that we don't. Hang on. No, that's level minus. That's level 13. That's the bit of caverns we do have access to. We have a deadly dust. Okay, let's pay some slightly more attention to this. We have a deadly dust-bearing gecko. So there's a goat down there, and a gorlak. It's kind of, is there actually anyone in the caverns that we need to recall, or do we just lock the doors? I think we just lock the doors into the caverns and leave Nosetools to its own devices. Possibly allow it to get to the surface, because like we could then hit it with the ballista if it gets itself into precisely the right position. I mean, the surface is a bit... well, we could call people in from the surface if it actually goes up there. Yes, obviously there are people on this level because that's actually one of our levels, one of our residential levels. So let's lock the door. So much blood. Let's lock that floor hatch, which then prevents anyone getting out into the caverns themselves, while leaving the rather complicated system. Oh, that's currently locked anyway. Should we unlock that then? Yes, let's unlock that. So strictly, the Forgotten Beast can reach the surface if it feels like it. And then keep half an eye on where it's going. Okay, it's fast. It's chasing that goat. See, another damp stone located. It's just not practical to dig that out. It's going to take far too much faff. I kind of love the fact that Dwarf Mercenary Death Zombie is actually someone we just want to keep around. They're a guest. They're not doing anything serious at the moment. Visiting warrior, apparently. Well, so far the goat is outpacing the Forgotten Beast. Wow, there's the deadly dust, I think. Yes, frozen extract, which is not the most helpful phrase for it, but that's the Nosetools dust, which I think has been so effective that it's blasted. Nosetools doesn't have wings, does it? No, I think it has blasted Nosetools into the air. I think the goat managed to avoid all of that dust, though. It's having another go. It's exploded again there. Yes, you can see when the Forgotten Beast releases its dust, it briefly flashes with a teal background, which indicates that it's temporarily airborne. So the dust explosions that it emits actually hurl it into the air. I mean, it might be useful as a weapon. Is the dust disappearing when it lands? Maybe. Slightly hard to be certain. I think we can see contaminants like this so that we can check whether they're actually being a problem. Right, it's trap. It can easily avoid traps. I think I knew that anyway. And it is heading for the surface. Right. So it is in the staircase that runs all the way to the surface. Which is like, I mean, I could have sealed it into the caverns, but where would be the fun in that? Plus, we can see what effect it has on the pigs. So let us get everyone indoors. Right, the Forgotten Beast has made it to the surface already? Apparently so. It was faster than I expected. Right, well, everyone get indoors, please. Forgotten Beast is hunting a cat. I mean, its range is a bit lacking. This is going to be too slow, isn't it? The Forgotten Beast is very fast. Switch that to not in use. That may as well be fire at will because we've got plenty of arrows. Excuse me, I just accidentally removed my glasses. Right, where was I? Ah, yes. We still don't have it actually managing to get into any fights, do we? It doesn't appear in that list. It hasn't quite managed to touch that kitten. Surely it's there now. Yes, finally. Yes, so the Forgotten Beast keeps getting caught in bursts of its own dust. And yes, we can see that it's contaminated with its own dust, which will make it quite dangerous to touch. I hope it's immune to its own dust. Right, so the kitten has now been hit. So now what we would like to know is... Yes, right, the kitten is contaminated. So now we're kind of interested to know what happens to the kitten. Doesn't seem to be in any way injured yet. If you guys could get indoors before the Forgotten Beast gets there, that would be lovely. But following the usual conventions, I will be locking the door before the Forgotten Beast gets in. Even if you are still outside. Indeed, I'm wondering, I'm not sure, I need to check whether Forgotten Beasts are normally building destroyers. Because if they are... all are building destroyers and are almost entirely immune to traps. Right, in that case, it will be able to knock down the front doors, so I need to activate the drawbridge now, or possibly sooner. Ow. Right, well, you, my dear Bard, are one of your primary purposes here is to keep the Forgotten Beast busy while we get the drawbridge closed. Have fun. I mean, like, that's the first actual attack from the Forgotten Beast, and it rendered someone's arm unusable. Everyone is still trying to get in. I'm going to ask my squad of crossbow dwarves to station themselves here in case they're needed. By which I mean in case the Forgotten Beast gets in. It looks like there's so many citizens running past it that it's like might actually not manage to get through the door simply because it's so distracted by a target-rich environment. Though, of course, we don't know what syndromes will be caused by this. We have so many kittens in this fortress.
Could be worse. There are lots of ducks.
It's true. Basically, this Forgotten Beast is terrifying if it actually touches you. I mean, not because it's poisonous. We haven't worked that bit out yet. Right, we're presumably going to discover what... Annoyed after choking on dust. Yes, that was the poisonous dust emitted by the Forgotten Beast. I fear that choking on it may not be the worst that it does. But I don't know. I would suggest you go and have a bath, though, just to be on the safe side. You haven't just met a Forgotten Beast.
I might have done. I can't remember.
At some point that drawbridge is going to close. I hope it'll be before the Forgotten Beast is still on the surface. More and more people are getting on to the correct side of the drawbridge. I mean, I'm not holding off closing it. Okay, what happened to... Okay, was that the one who died? A cafe is still siffy. How did you die? I'm just want to check. Oh, right, that's perfectly ordinary. Kicked in the head and your head exploded. I mean, sad, but probably not catching. I mean, on the one hand, I want the drawbridge to close soon. On the other hand, the longer it stays open, the more people get inside. And at the moment, the Forgotten Beast is not actually showing any signs of getting indoors. Because aforementioned target-rich environment. Oh, look, there's an airborne dwarf there. Thud. Yes, I feel that when a Forgotten Beast has just ripped your left hand off, the correct response is not, I've been wounded. It's annoying. I think it's slightly more than annoying.
So if I'm not up by that 9 kilometre, I don't make them quickly mistake.
Unpause for a moment, I think. I presume someone's actually operated the lever by now, surely. No, there is still a pull the lever job pending. Okay, someone is actually scheduled to pull the lever at least. But they're finding it quite difficult to get to the lever because it's in a crowded dining room where lots of people could pull it. Still, I mean, so far Forgotten Beast still on the surface, busy getting into fights with everything up there. I'm worrying that it may run out of things to get into fights with soon. Oh, it's killed a pig. Interesting. Again, did just do it by violence. Since it's trap avoidant, it will be able to get at the other pig, so we need to hope that the right, it's now descended to the entrance hall level. I think we thus lock the doors on the other side of the entrance hall. Where is it now? Is it? Oh, it's gone back out again. Okay. We'll leave the other door unlocked for now then. So the Forgotten Beast seems now to have stopped and just to be standing there. Oh, off it goes again. And the main entrance door is now closed. That means essentially if I'm going to get it, I'm getting it with the ballista. Which really means we would like someone to actually be operating the ballista. Because I think the Forgotten Beast is on its way to interact with the ballista, or at least with the pig. Oh, the Forgotten Beast can jump. That may be a problem. It just leapt across a gap there. I wonder if it's just going to leap in and slaughter the pig without ever actually getting near the ballista channel. Boing. No, it didn't. Interesting. Come on, you guys. Get that ballista ready. There's a Forgotten Beast. Just there, yes. Someone is loading the ballista. Yeah. Trying to get to a point where I can see both ends, but I don't think I can. Forgotten Beast is currently just standing still, which is nice. Oh, it's running away. And the ballista is not yet loaded. Curses. I'm going to temporarily switch that to prepare to fire because I think the loading times are rather long. And if I'm actually watching the Forgotten Beast... Oh no, it's in position again, right. Switch to fire at will once you've loaded the thing. Here's our Forgotten Beast, still loading the ballista. Here's our Forgotten Beast coming after that pig, poor pig. And sadly, because the Forgotten Beast can avoid traps, my mechanism for preventing zombie rhinoceroses getting at the pig has not prevented the Forgotten Beast getting at it. Forgotten Beast has now killed the pig and has descended briefly. No, it hasn't killed the pig, sorry. I thought it had, simply because it had left the pig alone, but it does seem to be mucking around somewhat. Yeah, go on, but we're going to need to make you some more bedrooms. You still loading that ballista? Yes. Rather amusingly, the Forgotten Beast still hasn't actually managed to kill that pig. Well, since you're around, you guys move one room to the south and go and deal with that large rat corpse. Yeah, okay, the large rat, of course, yes, I should remember, zombies not very susceptible. What? You've left it alone, you total stoats. Right, you've loaded the ballista, but now have decided that having loaded it, even though you were told to prepare to fire it, your approach is going to be to abandon the ballista and go off and do something else instead. So that when I set it to fire at will, you're not there. And the Forgotten Beast gecko is now going for a swim. Well, stoats to the lot of you. See, now you're there ready to fire it, but there's nothing to fire it at anymore. It's found by other pig and killed it as well, unsurprisingly really, because, well, being a trap avoidant forgotten beast will give you that ability. Now it's just wandering around exploding dust, poisonous dust all over the place. Oh, and chasing an unfortunate astronomer who has managed to find themselves on the wrong side of the main gate. I would suggest fleeing from the fortress personally. Right. So we had a sad bedroom shortage, so I think we should start at least digging out a few more rooms down here, even if we're going to need to build extra walls to separate them from the caverns. Yeah, that looks reasonably plausible. And then we can eventually build those extra walls and make those into proper bedrooms. Similarly down here, aren't we owed? Right, that one is only missing one square. This is not going to solve my bedroom problem, but yeah, we have the usual problem that people are arriving and are now meeting a forgotten beast on the surface because I was too brave, or I thought it would be amusing. Mostly the forgotten beast is now just exploding at itself, I think. While vainly hunting these humans. One thing I should do is see how our hospital is. As in, do we have people with weird injuries there? Or having been poisoned by a forgotten beast is the critical thing. Doesn't look like it. And we have a bunch of injured pigs kicking around. No, it looks as if if this Forgotten Beast does have a syndrome, it's not affecting anyone in the fortress badly. Right, the Forgotten Beast rapidly kills someone. The poor astronomer. The astronomer has become enraged. Then the Forgotten Beast kicks them in the head and they die. You didn't get caught in dust underground. You were definitely on the surface at the time. What are you carrying? A dead water buffalo, apparently. Wow. And a large white jade. Which you're wearing somehow. So apparently, just arrived is a human mercenary. Also a bunch of things have come back to life. That's fine. How is our human mercenary equipped? You've come dressed in leather. Have you brought a weapon? You haven't brought a weapon. You're a mercenary and you have turned up dressed, actually mostly not in leather, and without any weapons.
We're not very convinced.
Don't think this is going to go well for you. I mean, we'd like your help with defeating this Forgotten Beast, but
We don't think it's actually going to help.
I mean, you do seem to be doing the right thing and running like hell from the Forgotten Beast. Actually, his name's Nish. Her name, rather, is Nish, but still. I think the Forgotten Beast is heading back down into the caverns. If you're going to be like that, I'm totally going to lock you into the caverns if I can. I think I can't if you just sit there, though. We've got a load of extra names now. Whoosh, Forgotten Beast is buggering around quite a lot. I'd like them to bugger around up the other set of stairs, ideally, because then I can lock them out of the caverns. Oh, I know why they keep standing still, yes. Why the Forgotten Beast keeps standing still. It's because it's knocking things down, I think. Oh no, that rope is still installed, as is that floor hatch. Okay, that's not it. So I'm wondering if it's currently busy demolishing the floor hatch above it. If it goes back into the caverns, I'm totally locking it into the caverns. Where's it gone? Lost it.
Rip, find forgotten beast.
No, it's back up, going back up to the surface.
Why are they called forgotten beasts?
I don't know. Because they have been well, they are things that have existed in the world since it kind of came into existence. Oh, right, the Forgotten Beast is now getting into a fight with a zombie. And I'd expected that the zombie probably wants to kill the Forgotten Beast if it can. Because, like, the Forgotten Beast is alive. No.
Let alive.
Okay, I think the Forgotten Beast is quite capable of taking out a zombie dwarf. We discover. Looks like it's heading back towards the caverns. Again, pausing here.
That was sneezing, not pausing.
I don't think there's anyone in the caverns. I should, as a safety measure, after reasonably checking that there isn't anyone in the caverns. Oh, I've already sealed the caverns off, haven't I? Yes. I did that very early on because I didn't want the Forgotten Beast getting into the fortress. And I was just perhaps more relaxed than I should have been about the Forgotten Beast getting onto the surface. So it's already the case that floor hatch is forbidden. What I want is for the Forgotten Beast to decide that it wants to get into the caverns proper, because those two are unlocked, aren't they? Yes. Because then I can lock it in there, rather than for it to, as it repeatedly does, decide that it wants to be on the surface. And run away and attack incoming scholars. I mean, it's getting gradually beaten up by scholars with books. This is an advantage of a scholar as opposed to a chemist. If a scholar turns up with a book which they can use as a bludgeoning weapon, which a chemist doesn't. But I fear you need something a bit better than a book to.
If it's a Codex Alimentibus, you might be able to do quite serious damage if only you can pick it up.
You could lose my point.
But the problem is that then the Forgotten Beast bites the scholar in the head and the injured part is ripped into loose shreds, which tends not to be very good for the scholar. Oh, the book will probably survive. I mean, I could send some like military types up there. You know, people with proper armour and weaponry and such. The world is full of scholars and they're all heading towards the Forgotten Beast.
Oh, I want to find out what it is.
Yes. They will find out.
Yes, yes. You know, this is why we have, rules about, do not look into layers with other eye, because otherwise curiosity will definitely get the better of scholars. And they will do something that is horrifically dangerous because they want to find out what happened.
I mean, it looks like they did notice that it was terrifying and ran away, at least some of them. Yes, it's injured. Its left eye is dented.
What?
I don't know. And its first toe, right rear foot is cut open, and its upper body is torn open. It isn't actually it doesn't have any skin, which probably makes it rather easier to hurt than it would otherwise be. So, maybe we should just send some people up there with weapons. I'm not feeling hugely optimistic, but go on. If, my dear engineer, you were to flee into the firing line of our ballista, that would be brilliant. No, you've just left the. No, you haven't left the map. Sorry, I thought I'd reached the edge of the map, but I hadn't. Oh dear, poor engineer. Did it get its head ripped off? Yes, more or less.
Did it at least lead the Forgotten Beast into the path? Did it lead the Forgotten Beast into the path of the
No, not really.
Stubborn.
I mean, it's in that kind of area, but it has no cause to go that way. I wonder if there's some sensible way I can give it cause to go that way, but there's a zombie pig there, I suppose, now. Okay, there's a zombie pig. What? There's a zombie pig head, which has got itself stuck in a wall, or rather in a fortification. Which is kind of silly. There's a human over there. Does the human have anything useful? No. The human is doomed. Or no, the Forgotten Beast is going back down the stairs again. No. What? Is that something different? Oh, that's mist. That's fine. Don't know why that staircase is full of mist. I was slightly scared that part of the inside of the fortress suddenly had some kind of airborne contaminant in it. I'm still slightly scared. That's an up-down stairway over empty space, which I think means that a sufficiently airborne creature could get in there. Now, that's not actually a problem for this Forgotten Beast, but I think we should fix that for the next one. I think I want to do build construction upstairs. I think that will then seal that off from the from below. Otherwise, that staircase is actually open onto the Pause. What's going on? The Forgotten Beast is in the caverns. Right. Let us lock the Forgotten Beast into the caverns. Right. Don't know why it's decided to go down to the caverns, but I'm quite happy for it to stay there. I think there might actually be some terribly unfortunate dwarf down in the caverns. What are you doing there? I thought I'd carefully checked there was no one down there.
One is around the stairwell, two have they fallen down something.
Oh, maybe they fell down that staircase that I just discovered, yes. Into the caverns. Well, sorry, I don't know that there's much I can do to save you.
It is nice knowing you dwarf.
Actually, a dwarf, an elf and a goblin,
Oh, I'm sure they can be friends.
briefly.
No, yeah. But there's nothing like, having to face off Forgotten Beast together that makes you, pull together.
I will unlock the
Albeit briefly.
the floor hatches until they die, just to give them a theoretical chance. Unfortunately, now people can see down through that missing floor, and can see what's going on in the caverns below. What are you doing there? There's not a floor in that tile. See, that's a tile of open space. I think, yes, okay, that's the unfortunate dwarf being airborne, or possibly climbing up the wall. Unsuspend constructing that floor in the hope that it can get constructed. An elf dancer is, of course, extremely good at jumping away. And a goblin dancer, yes. The dancers turn out to also have pretty decent dodging skills and jumping skills. Okay, I'm slightly worried about where that Forgotten Beast's got to. Right, need to keep close eye on that. An unfortunate cat has just turned up somewhere nearby. Oh, the elf dancer might be about to get out. What's happened to you? Is that flashing X just like I've been slammed against the wall once too often? Probably, yes. P.S. What are you doing down there? Have you managed to fall down from the floor above as well? If you guys could stop doing this, that would be lovely. I think the elf dancer may be about to escape. Right, now close the floor hatch behind you.
Can forgotten beasts climb up through floor hatches?
Yes, but not if they're locked from above. Right, the floor hatch is closed. One of the unfortunate citizens has escaped. The Forgotten Beast is getting fairly close to the hatches. Another citizen might be about to escape. It's quite hard to work out where the Forgotten Beast is because there's like an enormous cloud of dust. What are you doing down there? Look. Why? Oh, you're trying to leave, and you're trying to leave through the caverns because I've locked you out of the surface. Right, well... Or maybe you're trying to get to the surface via the caverns. This is a bit of a problem. Let's actually unlock the surface because I think we're going to... I mean, it'll take forever for someone to pull the lever, of course, but... I mean, okay, there are a bunch of zombies on the surface, but they can't open doors and they'll get caught by the cage traps anyway because they're stupid. Right. That should discourage people from trying to leave the fortress through here. I think another dancer has got away. Yeah, they've closed it fairly rapidly. So, is there now anyone left alive in the fort? I don't care about a kitten. Kittens are lovely, but we have them by the 100. Well, not quite, but okay. No. As far as I can see, the only living creatures, the only living creature even halfway in a position to escape the caverns is that kitten. I'm not going to worry about the kitten. I'm going to lock all of the entrances to the upper level cavern. A bunch of dancers have managed to escape. We still have a problem that clouds of Forgotten Beast dust are propagating up into the fortress through an accidentally missing floor. And there is the slight problem that the Forgotten Beast is capable of, well, if not actually flying, of launching itself into the air. be a bit of a problem. Has someone just accidentally fallen down through the... No, that's just a scholar trying to leave, whom I somehow managed to lose before. I don't care. Where's the Forgotten Beast got to? I don't like that when I can't find a Forgotten Beast. Okay, you're down there. Slightly worried that someone who was meant to be installing that floor may have fallen through it instead. What's that sea that's running around? Oh, it's a kitten, right. So that's just that unfortunate scholar they're getting into a fight with. Someone is trying to have a fist fight with a Forgotten Beast.
This does not sound like a life-enhancing experience.
No, though the Forgotten Beast doesn't seem to be having... they're doing it in a tree. I think this may be making it slightly difficult for the Forgotten Beast to... Oh no, hang on, that was the scholar biting the Forgotten Beast. The Forgotten Beast hasn't attacked recently. I wonder if the Forgotten Beast is kind of tangled up in the tree.
That would be good.
I mean, it can probably get out. Oh, that looked nasty. Oh no, the Forgotten Beast is having trouble breathing. I mean, it looked like there was a spattering of blood there. What's happened? That's Forgotten Beast blood, that is. Right. Is this scholar going to punch a Forgotten Beast to death? I mean, it has no skin, so it may be halfway practical. Might take you a long time. You may pass out through tiredness. Why is there water coming down this? Falling down here?
Oh, this is a very familiar question.
Yes. Oh, right, we appear to have a slight flooding problem. Okay, so maybe we do actually have a noticeable aquifer down here. I think smoothing stone makes it impervious to water. Admittedly, I think our engraver may just have been killed by a Forgotten Beast, so we may need to assign some more people to engraving roles. Actually, let's make that a very high priority engraving job. What? Oh, I've got my thing wrong. Right. certainly having random water pouring down the staircase and into the caverns is not going to help with the putting in some floors. Yeah, this is so far going quite well for the scholar in the tree with the Forgotten Beast. Because while we do have this problem of water pouring down the staircase into the caverns, bringing quite a lot of blood with it, let's not try to put that floor back until we've actually... anyone doing a smooth stone job, or do I need to... Doesn't look like it. Maybe I think we may have lost our only even halfway useful stone engraver. So let us pick poet or a bard, preferably like a dwarven one, since this is after all stone. So we really want someone who likes limestone. Probably searching for someone who likes limestone is just going to take far too long, though. We need someone who's actually a citizen. Too few citizens and too many visitors at the moment. Okay, you can do it. You're not a dwarf, but... you are a dwarf, so you can become a stone detailer as well. Maybe that will cause someone to actually start smoothing those rocks. Someone is trying to recover a wounded dwarf somewhere, or wounded citizen. She's been brought to rest in bed, but doesn't actually appear to have anything wrong with her. So she's presumably now going to immediately leave the hospital again. Meanwhile... oh, the Forgotten Beast has got out of the tree. That's probably not a good sign. No, the scholar didn't manage to defeat it. I mean, the Forgotten Beast is looking fairly battered now, but... still very much alive. Anyway, about fixing that floor. So I thought I just saw someone come down here and apparently want... Oh, no, sorry, they weren't coming down here. They went up the stairs, of course, Stokeface, yes. I just want... So is someone who is currently assigned to the job of constructing that staircase? You are right. Let's watch you. Okay, you have cancelled it. Can't see you. Oh, no, you finished it. Excellent. Right. We now should not have a problem of it being possible to get... for flying creatures to get out of the caverns into the fortress. Now we are just attempting to stop the water leaks that we seem to have accidentally caused. And let's just say we're definitely not building a residential level here if it's this wet. Well, the goblin who got brought to the hospital is now just socialising in the hospital. Whatever. So my hope is that the water in here will cease increasing once we've smoothed all these walls. I think smoothed walls are waterproof, curiously. Oh, and it turns out we do have a living, competent engraver. Only adept, actually, but yeah, not like legendary. Probably good to have a few people doing it anyway. So there'll probably be a small amount of water leakage onto this level. Yes, but it should dry up. Before, the water would just pour straight down the staircase and out into the caverns, but like that had its own problems, namely it meant that there was a hole straight down into the caverns. So possibly we could safely install a couple of floor grates on this level, so that if this happens again, the flooding escapes into the caverns rather than going anywhere more embarrassing. And I think we can construct floor grates. So, actually, we could construct. The problem is that still means that like gases from the caverns can get up into the fortress, which is dangerous. And we don't really want that. Still, so. The Forgotten Beast, which is still around, is now sealed into the caverns. So that means we can relax about where everyone else is. There's a bunch of zombies on the surface, but they're like nothing terrifying. So what I should do... Indeed, people are actually coming and going a bit now. Is to get our two halfway plausible military squads and move them, i.e. the ones that don't use crossbows, because a crossbow is not much use against a zombie except as a bludgeoning weapon. Move them out into the entrance hall and then send them up to the surface to do a quick bit of zombie slaughtering. So actually, are there any actual zombies left out here? Has someone managed to kill them all? Looks like there might not be. Like anything that has come back to life recently should be above the forgotten beast in this list, and that's only a Jabberer, which is down in the or a bunch of Jabberer corpses indeed, down in the lower caverns. So I think actually that means we don't, I think that means we can let everyone out onto the surface again and cancel those orders. And release the ballista operator. The ballista having once again not quite been as useful as we would have hoped. Ill gods, there's a great big pile of miasma there. And yes, I know miasma doesn't come in piles. I'm worried that we still have water on that side of the room. I fear that smoothing these walls is not enough to stop them leaking. See if I can find the thing that's rotting here. Oh, well, I'm sure someone will deal with it in due course, but oh yes, well, we should fill all of the things on the surface with new pigs, of course. Or, no, a cow will not work very well. Not that we really need anything assigned to this, but like. We also have really no shortage of pigs. Right. So I think that just smoothing these walls doesn't seem to be stopping more water coming in, given that there's water all the way down that side of the room. So while I will leave the smoothing to complete, I think then I might build a wall separating the staircase from everything else. and that should stop the leaks. Often. What are you doing then? Oh right, you're cleaning. Yes, I suppose there is an awful lot of blood around here. Right, so that square and that square and that square are currently dry. I'm going to watch and see if any of them cease being dry, because that would indicate water is still flowing in. Right, one of them just ceased being dry. Water is still flowing in, and unless it flowed all the way in from there, that's a problem. I suppose I should wait for that last square to be smoothed. Right, now let's keep watching. Those already have water in, so the question is essentially, does either of the two squares that's currently dry get wet? It's probably going to take a while because the water takes quite a long time to flow in through these holes. See if other things that were meant to be happening are happening. Right, that potential new guild hall is now smoothed, so let us engrave its floor with pretty things in order to encourage people to visit it. Right, that square there has just flooded, so there's definitely a problem there, so let's start walling off that level. Bloody hell, I think we may have used up all of the bones. I mean, there'll be more along in a bit, because we have like 5 pig corpses awaiting processing, allegedly, though there doesn't seem to be a butchery job scheduled for them. Look, they've got bones. We can take the bones out of them. So now the dwarves are constructing the walls that will stop my abortive attempt at building bedrooms on this level from causing massive flooding. I mean, it wasn't going to cause massive flooding until I also connected also disconnected the bottom of the staircase from the caverns for very good reasons. So let's build both of them. How badly wrong can it go? Forbid that? Yeah, let's just forbid all the objects that are still lying around down here. Not many of them anyway. Okay, there's a slight danger if that Drouther stays there, it's going to get walled in on the wrong side of the wall. Our Forgotten Beast is still here in the cavern. In the canyon. No, hang on. Right, that should stop any water leaking into the gallery. Gallery? Staircase. Camp. Fortress. You continued bid to give everyone a cabinet. Because while we've been dealing with Forgotten Beasts, the dwarves have been working hard on making new cabinets. No, not there. There is an argument I should have made my rooms on 10 square spacing so that I could just use shift and arrow keys to jump between equivalent places in adjacent rooms, rather than as they are on 8 square spacings. But that's all of the cabinets designated. Every bedroom on this floor now either has a cabinet or will get one shortly. So we can see that many of these cabinets are actually full of stuff. Whether this is helpful, I don't know. But if the dwarves are going to insist on keeping stuff, they can at least keep it in cabinets. So now, presumably, this area is now going to flood. Yes, so that's now starting to flood properly. This, of course, will not be a problem, except if we ever actually want to get away from that staircase again. Yes, so the current cabinet construction situation is that of the requested 100 cabinets, it looks like 42 have been built so far. No, sorry, 42 are remaining to be built. Mostly stone ones, because I keep having other things for the stone masons to do. Like making doors. Once the Forgotten Beast is gone, I'll expand those rooms a bit so that they actually are the standard size. But at the moment, actually no, let's make that a slightly lower priority.
Almost a bit after 11.
In the morning I got enough.
Okay. Fairly early, so I'm going to cook for them some fairly slowly.
I'm sure we might play might want.
Right, so that's the library reading room made a little more full of chairs and tables, which might help. Right, and that guild hall is being set up. By which I mean engraved. What's the toggle engravings V? Let's make that look a little less weird. So yes, sorry, I've gone quiet as I've been getting distracted by things and wondering when this new guild hall. It's probably enough engraving now that it'll work. So hang on, who is it I want to assign this to? I want to assign it to the glacial berries. Then I want to unassign that from the glacial berries, and then I want to check that the glacial berries is still... oh, it's not quite a guild hall yet. Well, hopefully the this will be fixed by a small amount of additional... If you've got any statues kicking around we can dump in there. Yeah, have a statue. I have no idea what it's a statue of. Of course, part of the problem is that that our best engraver is dead, so that slightly limits our ability to make really good engravings in here to make the guilds happy. And I think we're going to need that statue. Go on, finish the engraving. I suppose we can still... I mean, I don't actually know that anyone cares whether this is this is a full guild hall. But I suppose we can, while we're here, enlarge the dining room again. So is someone trying to install that statue? Yes. Somewhere. But like, it's an enormous great limestone statue, it's going to take a little while to move around. Got bulks as a door, now taking a completely different route. Was not obstructed by a cat, happily. very slowly lugging a statue across the world. I presume that wasn't enough. Yeah. Oh, it's so close. Could probably just have installed a spare cabinet in there. But statues aren't much use otherwise. May as well use them for decoration. Kind of worried by what's meant to be in these almost empty stockpiles. That's a prepared food stockpile. That's also a prepared food stockpile. We do have a decent amount of prepared food, so this isn't actually a problem. Plus we have plenty of meat. Yes. It'll be here very shortly. Once we've built this statue, this will qualify as a guild hall again. See, you have a guild hall again. And people seem to like the new room of the dining room, even though it has no furniture in it, so maybe I'll leave it that way for now. I mean, the guild halls really aren't very popular, but yeah, no one seems to be doing anything with those pig corpses. I think maybe they're in some way not usefully butcherable. So before they rot or come back to life, let's just put them all out of the way. Right, so yes, that was an entertaining encounter with a forgotten beast. And we have installed a bunch of cabinets. I've probably got a few more to install, haven't I? Oops. Profit? What is a prophet doing here? I wonder. We've got 2 prophets. We can learn more about them after they chat with the local. Okay. Seem to have a bit of a miasma problem here. Because someone's corpse is rotting at the edge of the fortress. Right, all of the spare pig corpses that no one seemed to want to butcher are now being disposed of. It's a pity because their bones might have been useful, but flooding seems to have subsided. And we can install some beds in those things that will one day become bedrooms. and all is, if not well, at least relatively non-fatal with the world. So I think we should leave Nosetools there for the night and probably come back to it on Boxing Day, I suppose.
Might get bored tomorrow evening. You can always super on IRC tomorrow evening to talk to people.
Yes, sometime anyway. Still no sign of any trade caravans to buy all our rubbish, mind. So, yes. Well, we will see you probably on Sunday. Good night to all out there, whatever you may be. Where's my button? Whatever you are.